What's going on, everybody? I'm BitWZan with the Ichiban Nonsense Podcast. And joining me is the man who is the heroine to my peanut butter, Ms. Entius on the East Coast.
Aww.
Everyone needs a little bit of heroin in their peanut butter.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
And you're mine, bro. Also joining us is a man who is learning how to say in Spanish, I'm allergic to latex. Minister.
Maybe that is something I should learn. It could be an excuse.
And lastly, joining us is a woman who's knocking on heaven's door right now. Secret Kittty.
Try not to be too loud.
And I only say that because she's really, really sick, you guys. So she's bearing with us for this video, for this podcast. So thanks a lot for joining us, Kitty.
Of course.
Thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. So, actually, you know what? Before we start, kind of want to get on something, and you guys don't have to you don't have to speak on it if you don't want to or whatever. And I kind of want to get it out of the way first, so that way we don't glom on it or anything like that. But I want to know if you guys had heard about that thing with that kid, Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he went to that suicide forest and all that stuff like that, put the video up on it. And I saw that and I was and the reason I kind of want to throw it in here now is because I don't want to make a whole video about it because fuck that dude. I really didn't even know who he was, to be honest, until I saw this shit and everything. So yeah, he went to the suicide forest. It's in Japan and near Mount Fuji. And he was oh, it was claims for awareness. He says how serious it is, that dead person's right there. But then he's still showing him on camera. Him and his friends is making jokes about it, or they continue to stay there the whole time and everything like that. They make light of it. They didn't exactly make a joke, but they were kind of just laughing it off a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he got a lot of shit for it. And then he posted his weak ass apology on it. And at first when I saw it and stuff, I was I showed Kay how it was she's from Japan and everything like that. See. And first she was well, that's kind of stupid of him. And then second, she was saying that he's probably going to get haunted now because they believe in that stuff. So I was I hope so. I hope he is getting haunted and shit. But yeah, it looks like he had another video out. And it's kind of to further drive, I think, how little respect this guy has for the culture in Japan or whatever. He filmed a bunch of stuff in Tokyo where he's harassing the local people, being the whole loud American thing.
Yeah.
He was breaking the Game Boy Color and doing all this stuff or whatever. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna go stay forever on it or discuss it. And you guys don't have to touch upon it or whatever either, because I don't want people thinking, oh, I'm using his name to get views or whatever. So that's why it ain't gonna be in the description. It's not gonna be in the video or in the title or anything like that. But this goes back to the stuff I think we I think it was me, you, and Kitty were me, you, Mez, and Kitty were talking about a long time ago, how far people go to get views or whatever. And this was clearly all in the name of getting views. He can say whatever he want about it being for awareness or whatever, which is bullshit, because he could have just made a video afterwards saying oh, hey, I saw this guy in the video in the suicide forest, and this actually is pretty serious, blah blah blah. And he didn't have to film himself actually there, making light of the whole thing, and then go out and bother a whole bunch of Japanese people in Tokyo and stuff. So but he's 22, so I get it. He's an idiot pretty much, and he's young, so he probably doesn't give a fuck about, he doesn't care about any of that shit right now, being responsible or whatever. But I'm gonna say this: I hope he's happy with the way his young, his very young fan base defends all his dumb bullshit, and I hope he's happy he is essentially the role model for that younger generation. He is, whether I like it or not, whether anybody else like it or not. He is considered a role model because a bunch of young kids watch his dumb shit. And I really hope he saves his money and this YouTube shit lasts for him, because, brother, if he doesn't, he's going to be in real trouble if he ever has to get a real job. I'll tell you that shit right now.
Yeah,
that's, so whatever.
Yeah, that is the negative effect of doing stuff out there for the public like that, because everyone's going to remember that face.
Yep. He is one of these guys that I was talking about before, too, where he appeals himself to the younger crowd, and he kind of desensitizes the who thing. He was oh, yeah, it's for awareness, but you kind of you're exploiting a guy who killed himself for your views or for your vlog or whatever, and you're making light of it. So it desensitizes the kids who are watching it, so they think suicide isn't a big thing, or they one kid, I saw one kid defend him saying if I knew that's what I had to do to get on one of his videos, I would have done it myself too, like commit suicide.
Wow.
So I'm just like, okay, well, I hope you're proud of yourself there, buddy. Congratulations on getting all your views and getting the success off of other people's shit. So like I said, save your money because you're gonna need it, motherfucker. But that's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I don't think anything else needs to be said.
Yeah,
I think.
like I said, you guys don't have to go into it. We
Yeah.
can go into the weeks if anything, but I just wanted to say that, and I didn't want it to be like a separate video where people think we're trying to like get something off of him or whatever. Because fuck that dude.
I didn't even really hear of it until now. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't following social media.
But okay, let's jump into the weeks then, guys. Who wants to start us off? What you did? Like, I know it's been a while too. Like, I kind of like gave you guys the break for the holidays. We didn't really do anything. I mean, we played a ton of games together. We just didn't like record or do any podcast or whatever because I figured, you know, we're all with our families and stuff like that, and you know, and some of us was working too. Me, so I figured it'd be easier just to like give you guys a break and like you know, take that time off and everything. So, but what have you guys done since then?
We had like whole Christmas and New Year's things over here. That was pretty fun. Like went to a family friend's house for Christmas, and like doing that stuff made me remember how fun like Spanish parties are, especially when you were like like the older Spanish people that know how to like kind of do those Spanish parties.
Yeah,
like going to those are like so much fun where everyone's kind of like, you know, drinking a little bit. It's like there's some drinking going on, but a lot of it is like mostly like everyone's like telling stories about like the past or something, or like everyone's just dancing with everyone there, like whether you know them or not. You just start dancing when like the music comes on, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So like that was a lot of fun doing that. And that was Christmas for us.
Okay.
And other than that, I've been watching a show that me and you actually watch a lot of, is Running Man. I fell behind on that for a long time, so I was like, hey, let me start watching this again. And I was watching it, and that show still, like, it's still so funny. Like, I've been like cracking up. There was at one point where my father was here, and he was saying like that he couldn't sleep because he heard me laughing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was why?
Yeah, and that's because I was watching that show.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was just so funny to me, but like that show is freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
that's like a good
I want to do something in the future
show.
with that.
What was that, E?
It's like it's an actual good reality show because you can see that it's all authentic. The stuff that they're doing,
Oh yeah,
and what's happening to them, so their reactions are absolutely 100% real.
yeah.
That's
I mean, like, sometimes they're a bit over the top for like entertainment, but yeah, for the most part,
it is variety. Yeah, it's a variety show.
For the most part, it is like if they're scared of something, it's because they're probably actually scared of it. Like almost all the cast members are scared of heights, so a lot of like the staff members always involve something with heights as a punishment. So like that stuff is just so funny for me. But yeah,
I do want to do something in the future with that with you too, because like I know we were like big fans of that. I want to do like a video or maybe something about it. So we'll see. Hopefully we can do something like that down the line to introduce people to it.
Oh, yeah, it's a good show.
And then I just recently watched Wrestle Kingdom, which was Wrestle Kingdom 12, which I would say all around I think was a super good card. Like I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, so it was like the first thing I watched, like going back to wrestling again. And like up and down the card, I think it was just all good matches. I don't feel like there were like too many filler matches. I didn't really watch the pre-show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like that was an amazing card. A lot better. It
was good that Jericho and Omega delivered and stuff too.
Oh yeah, that was a really good match. Like and honestly, it was hard to follow that because there was so much excitement for it. But I think like Okada and Naito did a good job of doing that. But that was, I guess, pretty much a quick wrap up of what I've been doing.
Okay. Minister, what's been going on with you, man?
Nothing. Like I said, I'm trying to get used to the new location, and I've pretty much just been taking care of business, legal stuff, and binge watching Netflix and
What shows have you been watching?
I finished The Punisher, which
Okay.
I enjoyed. I like the characters in there, but there's a little bit more slow pace than the Punisher we saw in Daredevil. So
yeah,
I liked it, but I didn't love it. It had serious issues.
I think that was on purpose, though.
It had serious issues. I think they did that
purposely.
That it was dealing with and addressing.
Yeah.
Which, I understand and all, but I still wanted some more badassery to be flying out throughout the whole thing.
That goes into like what Zan was saying last time we were talking about it, where he felt like it had more episodes than really needed to cover the story.
Yeah.
So like it felt like it dragged on a little bit.
Yeah. There was like I think 4 episodes that they could have cut, and it would have been a good like 8-season show. I think
8-episode show.
Or 8 episode, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Not
you're right
season.
there too. Like a lot of it was kind of dragged out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was still good though. I mean, the stuff
It
that
was.
was happening was definitely still eye catching.
Better than Iron Fist.
Yeah, that's true. But I also saw Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and at first I wasn't even sure I was gonna watch it. I was like, I might let this go by. But the amount
let's not go into too much spoilers here because I have to watch that movie.
The amount of reviews I saw on this movie, and the amount of people split down the middle saying, "Oh, it's really good. Oh, it's really bad," and people that were saying it were like on different sides of the field that I expected. It's like this one guy, loves Star Wars, loves the lore, loves the prequels. It's like, oh yeah, this movie is awesome. Then other people that like the original trilogy was like, oh, this movie is trash. I was like, I gotta see it for myself. I gotta see it. So to avoid spoilers, I won't give anything away on that.
Yeah.
I also saw, what was it? M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, Split.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
that came out like last year. I remember that one. I've seen that one too.
Yeah. Seen that at Redbox, that one, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh,
how'd you like that one?
I did like that one. M. Night Shyamalan.
I figured you would.
Is back. Since the Sixth Sense.
I figured you would. Yeah.
But that's it, man. I've just been, playing video games and watching TV for the most part.
Yeah.
Getting some exercises in the mix.
We gotta talk about that one too, Split, because like I figured you would like that one. Oh, yeah. Professor Xavier hamming it up in those scenes and stuff like that, and especially at the ending. When he's like ripping the bars open, he's just like freaking.
Well, hang on now. Those are spoilers. Hang on now.
Okay. I didn't say much else. I was just like, hey, this is what he's doing. But yeah.
I will say though, I am impressed with that actor, and I don't know his name.
What's
his name?
James McAvoy.
Yes,
James McAvoy.
That is absolutely amazing. Actually, I like all the actors in that whole movie. Like every single solitary character was pertinent, was useful in that whole movie. So, and how this movies kind of feel kind of like low budget, like it was like it's not too much, millions of dollars put into this. So we're gonna do this in one room.
It didn't go in a lot of areas.
Houses.
It took place in
something like that.
Yeah, it took place in relatively like one area for like most of the movie. So yeah,
and that's why I'm still
like
a fan of the man. He doesn't need a lot of money to make a good product. So, but that's it for my week.
All right, Kitty.
So same thing, like holidays stuff with Spanish-speaking families is always fun.
Yeah.
But between Christmas and New Year's, I went to Las Vegas to go see the original Misfits, which was like the best.
Yes, I've seen that too.
Yeah, she was goth girl Kitty over there in the picture.
I'm not gothic. But it was really cool. So like it was the original 3 members. The drummer changed out a lot, so like nobody ever remembers who it was. But they were pretty good too. But it was like Jerry Only, which is the bassist. Doyle, I can't say. They're like made up stage names that have to do with like scary things and stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that much about the Misfits, so yeah.
I'd like to put this disclaimer out there. When I originally chimed in saying, oh yeah, love that, I was actually thinking of a show, Misfits, and not a music band. So I'm going to retract my earlier outburst.
What were you thinking of?
It was
the British show.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
The Misfits.
Sorry about that. Sorry about the false praise.
I like that he didn't have to say anything. He could have just like, but he
inside. I was like, to go find out, like, oh, you don't even know who the band is. I was like, I better come clean now.
No,
I misinterpreted that.
No, it's okay. And then the last member was Glenn Danzig, who also was a solo artist. But
Danzig, I've heard of.
Yeah,
actually.
he has
From Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
What?
Okay. Okay.
Danzig, motherfucker.
He's really serious, so he's the reason why we could not take pictures. Like, literally, we had to put our phones in these pouches that they lock.
What?
Yeah, and then you have your phone with you, but you can't open the pouch. Like, they lock it up, and you can only get it unlocked by, like, the people that have the unlocking things, and it's far away from, like, the, where they're playing and stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that kind of sucked because, like, Pixar didn't happen, but but it was a really cool show and it was awesome, and I bought 2 shirts because I'm excessive.
What you should have done is taking your phone and take a backup phone to take pictures.
They would have backed
I thought of that too.
Have a decoy phone.
They don't even
take
search
the old
you, but
the old flip phone, like
that
gotcha.
That excellent quality.
That's the brightest
better than nothing
in the world.
I know, like what?
Yeah, right.
What? That's it.
Like we saw that.
But that was really cool. And then let's see. So I've been sick, so I've been watching Black Mirror. I'm almost done with all of them. For some reason, Netflix has the seasons backwards, so I just watched it in that order. Like
because they start you off with season 3, right? Instead of starting with season 1.
Well, whatever's the latest season, which is like season 4 now or something.
Yeah.
And then they go backwards, and then I'm like, that's kind of weird, but it doesn't matter because it's not a progressive
not really
story.
Chronological.
It's like it's anthology shows. Like each episode is.
Except
they did the same thing for me for when I started it last time. It was on season 3. I just started on season 3, not knowing that there was other seasons before that. I was like,
I did the same thing.
Yeah, I wonder why they do that though, because they still like introduce certain like components of some episodes into the later episodes, so it should they should do it progressively, but whatever. And I've been watching that. I think I'm like on season 1 now, which is only like 3 episodes or something.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, because I'm sick, I've just been literally doing nothing but playing video games, and so I was playing Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, which is like the like smaller game that came out with Uncharted 4 or later, and it's like Chloe, I think is her name, or Zoe, I don't know, and like the other girl, the mercenary, and it was really fun, and I passed it really fast, but it was pretty small.
Okay.
Was it worth
really
it?
Fun. Yeah, actually it was free for me because I bought the season pass for Uncharted 4.
So it just came with the game?
Yeah, but I didn't know that it was there until I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, and it was like download.
And they were like, you already got it.
I was like, sweet, I will play this game, and it was really fun. Like, I haven't really like been obsessed with like playing through a game really fast in a while. And like Uncharted has always done that for me, so it's nice to get that feeling again.
Did it like add on to the story for you, or was it just like
no, it has
stuff?
It's extra. It has nothing to do with the other stories.
Oh, okay.
Or Nathan Drake's story. So you could play it alone, and it has nothing to do with him because they just reference him, but like they're not like it's not part of his story. It's all the girl's story.
Okay.
And that's my 2-3 weeks.
Okay. Well, for mine, I did also see Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Probably one of the first movies that I ever got to see in a theater in a long time. I know me and Minister, like, we want to plan on doing something for it, so I won't go into much of like my review of it or anything like that. Yeah. But
tear it apart. I mean,
what I would say was that I think you can feel in this movie, because there were some parts that didn't feel like Star Wars and some parts that did feel like Star Wars. The parts that were Star Wars were really good, were really well done. and some parts that weren't Star Wars. Like I think you can feel like the Marvel Disney formula creeping into Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'll say on that. But I did go see it, and I had a good time. I also have been watching a couple Netflix shows. Me and the wife like watching Ultimate Beastmaster, and we just like cheering on the team. That's when they take like teams from different countries, and you have to go through this weird obstacle course stuff. So we love watching that. Saw Black Mirror season 4 as well. Thought it was really good.
So wait,
the first episode was really good too.
I was going to ask, 'cause I know, Minister, you haven't watched it yet, right? Black Mirror?
No, I have not.
So for Kitty and Zan, like, what was your favorite episode of that 4th season?
The 4th season, I really liked. I think I liked the first episode the best, to be honest.
That was the like Star Trek-y one?
Yeah, the Star Trek-y one. That one, and I don't know if it was episode 3 or 4. I think it was 3.
Is it the...
Was it?
Hang
the dating one.
Yeah.
Hang the DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that one was really well done, too.
How about you, Katie?
That was really creepy. Hold on, I have to check, because I, like, forget already. Like, I watched them all in a row, so I don't know which one is season 4.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna check really fast.
It would have been, like, I think like, the first 6 episodes you saw then. Because season 4 is only 6 episodes.
Was it? Let me see.
It was, it went from, like, the Star Trek episode to, like, the museum one.
Oh,
yeah.
I really like that museum one, but I don't know. Hold on. They were all so good. I was like so hooked so
It
fast.
was like the Star Trek one. Then it was like the woman that was like had implanted the thing in the kid's eye so she can watch her kid. Then it was Hang the DJ, I think. Oh no, was another episode?
No, it was
the
that
lady.
one. Yeah, then it was the killer lady.
Killer lady.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be the museum one. I like that one the most. The other one that I liked is season 3, and that one was the rating one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah.
Because that's you can see that coming like soon. Probably.
Oh my god, yeah, it creeps me out. Like I'm like,
yeah.
One of my goals has been to be on social media more because I'm like really bad at it.
Yeah.
And like now I'm like, do I want to be on social media? So yeah, that one was really good too.
Yeah, I would say like one of my favorites. I think a lot of people agree it's the best one of the new season was the Hang the DJ one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the other one I liked was Archangel, which was like the one with the implant in the kid.
Yeah.
The problem with that one is like to me it had like a really weak ending. I don't know. It didn't like end
but
well.
the premise for me was like I can see that happening.
Yeah.
So easily.
Yeah, you could.
And it was like it was so crazy. It was like how like the mother is like so paranoid that she just has to watch everything her kid is doing.
And I think it really how. Oh well, that's getting into like spoilers.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So never mind.
But yeah, I feel like they're all pretty good. Like the weakest one for me was the one that was like in black and white.
Yeah.
Metalhead.
Yeah, because that one just seemed odd to me. Like I didn't get anything that was going on.
I think if they had gotten a little bit more in depth about it, it would have been a little more interesting. But it was overall still like they're all really good. For me, the weakest one I think is the killer lady one.
I like that one so much.
Really?
Yeah.
The killer lady?
Yeah.
Lady.
It's
that one I liked a lot.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I liked a lot.
I think because it was...
Really?
It was like... It just showed like the extent someone would go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It was just really weird. I don't know. That one was like...
What's the episode called?
It kind of I like the story... I like the story of the other girl more. Like the killer lady was kind of just like, I don't know. It felt like a nothing episode. Like,
there wasn't enough sci-fi for me for it.
It wasn't even just, it was. I mean, not even the sci-fi part. It just there wasn't like enough depth to her character to be like, oh, all of a sudden she's resorting to this. Like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of felt she went from 0 to 60 like really quickly, and then she was just like. She loved it or something. I don't know. Like maybe if they explored her character and it's like, oh, maybe she had this all along or something like that. But like, yeah, in the beginning she was totally against what was happening, and then by the end she was like, well, it's got to be done. Like, So nah, yeah, for me it was weird. I was like really interested in the mechanic of what the other girl was having and stuff like that. Like that machine that lets you see into people's thoughts or whatever. I was like, that's a little bit interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the other one, that Metalhead episode, it just reminded me like anytime you see those, I think it's like a video before where it's like the Boston Dynamics, I think it's called, where
yeah,
that company.
It looks exactly like that.
Yeah,
like a miniature version.
And that's like a video where there's like all the bad shit Boston Dynamics did to their robots, and I'm like, that's the result of what's gonna happen after all that Boston Dynamics shit. Is gonna be that episode. Yeah.
But also, like on Netflix, I saw Chappelle's special, his New Year specials. They were really good. Those 2 specials he came out with.
I still haven't seen it
like
yet.
the first 2 he came out with last year were kind of like really old. He was like tackling some really old topics and whatever. Like, I was like, oh, it's still funny, but like at least this year's one was like topics that were like really like current and stuff, like current event things happening and stuff. And he always does that thing where he does a really good joke, but then he kind of like sends a message with it and stuff like that as well. He mixes those things really well, and I found it really funny, and it was like really intriguing. So Chappelle still got it. He still got it. He got it. He can make a comeback if he wants.
I have to go and watch that too.
He even kind of like, I don't know if it's true or not, but he kind of like gives a slight like metaphor of like the reason why he left for like 12 years and stuff like that. Like he tells this whole long story. It's in like the second special that he does towards the end.
Okay.
He goes into depth, like not into depth, but he gives like this vague analogy of like, this is why I left, show business, whatever.
To you and stuff.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
To your father's funeral and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But that's been my stuff, my week. But let's get to the main reason why we're here, and that is we're gonna be finishing up our top 5 games and movies of 2017 on this podcast. I know we're gonna like do kind of a whole separate thing, but it just became like really taxing and really like difficult to do with everybody in different places, and everybody got their own schedules and stuff like that. So I figured let's just all knock it out here, and that way we can get everybody's top 5 stuff or whatever they want to input into it and put it out just as a group, because you know what? That's kind of how we do things anyway as a group. So might as well just do it like this. Group,
we do everything.
So,
need a name? We need a band name.
We do have a name. The Nonsense Crew, with the Ichiban Nonsense, with the Gamer Club, with all that stuff, man. So let's start off with finishing up on the top 5 movies. Because me and Mez and I, we already did our video, so like we probably won't go like too much into it. We won't go into it anyway. Like our videos are there if you want to check it out.
You have my nice, concise video and Zan's long
and my in-depth video. Not blown out, in-depth video. We'll start with Minister, who is our movie guy anyway. Our Mr. Movie Guy. He will lead us off with our top 5 movies for 2017. Minister, in any order you want, however you want to dish it out. What are your top 5 movies of 2017?
Minister on here. I'm going to be going off my top 5, starting with the bottom 5 going up to the number 1. So for 2017, my number 5 pick would be Wonder Woman, which is a pretty
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Huh. All right.
Which is an unexpected movie. This is one character from DC I always thought was uninteresting for the simple fact I don't know the extent of her powers. I don't know what could hurt her. She could go through a wall. Could she get shot? Could she get cut? I have no idea. So I always thought her powers were confusing. So I was like, this movie's going to be a bust. Yeah. So I went in to see the movie to kind of tear it apart. And it turned out to be almost a perfect freaking movie. Like, it was kind of slow, in the beginning, but then it picked up quite nicely.
Okay.
So I have to.
That's number 5.
I have to put that on the list. My number 4 was Spider-Man: Homecoming, and
interesting.
I was surprised at that too, because I was like, man, I know Marvel's taken over, but I think the franchise is probably dead. It turned out to be a pretty good reboot. So it was a new actor. The actor is actually a fan, and he put his all into acting into it. So you actually believe his feelings when he was on screen. Also, having Michael Keaton play a fantastic Vulture didn't hurt the movie either. So that's my number 4.
Cool.
My number 3 is Thor Ragnarok.
This is okay.
Okay.
Now, Thor Ragnarok was Thor's another character I don't like. Just like Wonder Woman. I don't know what could hurt you. I don't know how strong you really are. So I went in there, just to go see a movie, and turned out to be extremely good. It's completely different from the other Thor movies. It seems to be more lighthearted, a bit too lighthearted for me, but the storyline and Kate Blanchett playing the bad guy was excellent.
Okay.
And my number 2 was the Justice League.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
all the movies that I thought I was going to trash, Justice League was on the top of my list. I was like,
we have you on record here on the podcast, several podcasts, saying you couldn't wait to trash this movie.
Yeah.
I almost went to the movie with a notebook, pen and paper, ready to destroy this thing. And I must say, this is one of the better movies of 2017. It is by far better than any other DC movie that has come out, to include Wonder Woman, which is on this list. So I would definitely tell anyone, give it a go before you listen to all the reviewers and all the people that's bashing it for whatever reason they can find. I'm not a DC fan, yet I enjoyed this movie, so that should say something. And my last,
number 1, here we go.
And I'm not sure, did this movie come out this year? I think it did. Was Logan.
Yeah, it did.
Thank goodness. Logan. Now, I don't know if I've ever said it on the podcast before. I do not like Hugh Jackman being cast as Wolverine. I think Wolverine should be 5'3", hairy, gruff, and kind of ugly. Hugh Jackman is a pretty boy, 100%. Does not fit the role.
I can attest that this is something he said for years.
Yeah.
Does not fit the role for this character that, we love from the comics or the animated series back in the 90s. But this movie, probably because it was rated R and could be a little bit, darker, was good from beginning to end. I mean, it had different tones, different feels. You kind of feel, the effects of aging, like something everyone's going to have to go through. You feel, a bit of sadness with the stuff going on with Professor X. I mean, without giving any spoilers, the movie's fantastic. I would definitely put that. It's still the number 1 pick out of this whole year. And I think it came out early this year. So
It did.
It did.
Yeah.
I'd recommend anyone who hasn't seen Logan yet, go ahead and give that one a look. It's very good. Even if you don't like the other Wolverine movies, which I don't. I don't like any of the other Wolverine movies or the other X-Men movies. I just like Logan alone. So that's my list.
Okay.
A really superhero heavy list for Melissa.
I was gonna say, it's like the top 5 comic book movies.
Oh, you mentioned that. I'm a comic book geek. So this is my age. The comic book movie age is what I've been waiting for a long time.
Your first 3 picks were identical to mine too, in the same order, like Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, and Thor.
Wait, serious?
Yeah, like in that order, it was identical.
I'm gonna have to change that list. No, I'm joking.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Kitty, let us know, what is your top 5 movies for 2017?
I'm gonna add an honorable mention, just because you'll see why. It's gonna be Get Out, because it was was done really well, I think, and it wasn't high budget. Yeah. And it it was just good, you know.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm gonna say because it's honorable mention. And my number
Okay.
5 is Logan.
This is why we do these. I like this. All right.
It made the list, though.
Yeah.
Number 5.
So I felt Logan. I like the same thing. Like the other like Wolverine movies have just felt like they were just trying to get more money out of it, but this one felt like there was a lot of closure to like the X-Men series. Like Minister was talking about, like you see the effects of age and stuff, and like what their future. I guess this is kind of like an alternate dimension to like other stuff. Like I don't know, the X-Men whole series has been like really all over the place, but this one was really good, and there was a lot of feeling to it. Usually don't have feelings for movies, so that's my number 5. Number 4 is Justice League.
Is this Minister's list in reverse?
It's that. Yeah, Justice League. Obviously, I like DC more, but like I still like Marvel too. But I've been waiting a long time for them to, you know, have good movies, and when it did, they did it right. So it made me happy. So it made me happy, and like all the characters were so cool to see together. And I think I talked about it before, like the beginning like battle scene that they have was probably my favorite one that I've seen in a while. For number 3 is Atomic Blonde. I loved like everything about it. Like, have you guys all seen it yet? I don't want to spoil it.
have. Charlize Theron.
I have not.
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I saw it just for her, and it turned out to be good. So yeah.
I think we talked about it before though. Like it's set in the 80s, so that was really cool. The whole soundtrack is amazing. The fight scenes are really good, and the story is pretty good too. Like I won't get into that either because you in case you guys want to watch it, but it was good for me. Number 2 is Wonder Woman. Same thing with Justice League, but where I've been waiting a long time, and they got 2 in 1 year, and it's just done so well. I don't even know. And then for number 1 is It.
Oh, It.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love horror movies, and just like DC, they always disappoint me. Horror movies are never done very well, but this one was. It was creepy. The kid actors were really good. I love Pennywise. I love the actor that plays Pennywise too. So
that's what it is.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Something.
No.
That's void. We're gonna put Logan at number 1 for you.
It was number 5.
Something Skarsgård was his name or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the Skarsgårds.
Yeah,
He was in Hemlock Grove.
He was.
And
yes.
he looks creepy in that too, without the makeup. So I
Like,
can't imagine what he looks like.
He does. Creepy is kind of my thing, though. Like I like if you ever look up the Misfits, the band, so you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And their songs are about like horror things as well. Anyways, so that's my number 1 pick.
Okay.
It was just an overall good horror movie, and like that's so rare. It's like such a gem. It makes me so happy.
Okay.
So,
Mez, you want to just give a quick rundown of what yours? You already mentioned like
I want to hear
some of them there.
It was so
a quick rundown from my list was number 5 was Wonder Woman. Number 4 was Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 3 was Thor: Ragnarok. Number 2 was Get Out, and number 1 was Baby Driver.
I never heard.
Mine's was number 5 was Colossal. Number 4 was Baby Driver. Number 3 was Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 2 was Wonder Woman, and number 1 was Get Out.
Yeah, I like how all our number 1s are different too, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like how some of these movies are still in the realm of the top 5. So I'm gonna see Baby Driver now. What was that other one that you guys keep mentioning?
Get Out.
Well, Get Out.
Yes.
That one's really good.
I think you would really like that one.
I've heard about it
Yeah.
too. Like it's really, really good. So I can look at those
But
two.
I'd have to say, like, Wonder Woman made it to all our lists. I think that was the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like on
some
our
in like
list.
high places, some in low. That go. I mean, I think Justice League may be debatable because, like, I mean, we haven't watched it, but it's
Yeah.
still like a very like
Yeah.
iffy pick there. But I think Wonder Woman was a solid, all around good movie for DC and those guys at Warner Brothers. So
So it's
good for them.
it's the Ichiban movie of the year. Ichiban. That's it.
I'd say too with Minister, like when he was saying with the Spider-Man and Thor, I think we were like on the same track where it was the villains that made that movie like a lot better than other superhero movies because Kate Blanchett and Michael Keaton, like they both were really good as villains in both those roles.
People have been saying that Marvel has weak villains, which I don't necessarily agree with because I liked Ultron as a character. I listened to the stuff he was saying; it was perfect sense.
Yeah.
But the villains in those movies definitely were like top of the damn line.
I think the problem what people were saying is that like they found their good villain with Loki, and what they tried to do was just copy and paste it into every villain they had. So none of the other villains had any depth. Like Ultron had no depth to him other than he was just like this sarcastic robot.
I don't agree with that
was
at
just
all. I mean, he was made by Tony Stark, so Tony Stark was definitely going to put his personality into the program, so that you understood why.
Yeah, and isn't that a convenient thing for them that they can say Tony Stark was the one who made him and make him sarcastic, which is like how they like to draw their villains and stuff.
But if you watch the dynamics between them when they talk, the dialogue, when they go back and forth, in a way you could see that Ultron, even though he hated being compared to Tony Stark, was actually a better version of him because of his logic. So I don't know. I'm not going to get into it, but like I said, I think for sure Mez is right about the villains popping those movies up there.
I hope it continues for Infinity War. I hope they continue the trend of having like the last couple movies have had at least decent villains because like the Thor villain from Thor 2 was shit. The first villain from Guardians of the Galaxy was it Malekith, right? Malekith, whatever. He was trash. So was the villain for Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Like, come on, man. Nobody even cared about him. That Ronan
the Accuser.
The Accuser. He didn't really matter. People just like Guardians of the Galaxy because it was funny and like all that stuff like that. So, they had a lot of villains in there that were kind of just throwaways. So Michael Keaton and like Kate Blanchett like bringing it in and stuff like that, I think really helped those two other movies for this year.
Which was like it was really funny. Like Ronan the Accuser in the comics is actually like
it's a great villain.
Yeah, he's a really good villain, but they did him wrong in the movies. And then Vulture in the comics was like kind of a throwaway villain. They did him really good in the movies.
Yes, he's like a bottom tier Spider-Man villain, but he's one of the best they ever seen.
So I hope they keep up this trend because I want to see Thanos done right.
But he's pink.
But yeah, that is the Gamer Club's top 5 movies for 2017. Now we're going to be moving on to our top 5 games, which none of us have done. So this will be new for everybody here. Let's start off with Meds. What are your top 5 games for 2017?
Well, my top 5, like I went by games I've like kind of played a lot too. So
that and like I said, that's in the explanation video, but just in case nobody's seen it, we're going off of games that we've played this year. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the game has to come out in 2017. It's just a game that we happen to have played in this year, in 2017. So that's how we're going to go off of it. That's how we're rating our games and stuff like that, because that's the only way we can do it. Because there's just like so many games out there and like not enough time to get to all of them and stuff. So that's how we're going to rate our games. But go ahead, Mez.
So taking a little line from Kitty here, I have my honorable mention is Horizon Zero Dawn. Because I feel like it was a really good game I enjoyed, but I didn't put enough time into it to like really. It didn't get enough time to get on my top 5, but it deserves some credit for because I enjoyed the time I did spend on it. So number 5 is probably the latest game I played, which is Destiny 2.
Whoa!
And I put it at number 5 because it's really fun when you're playing with a group. And that's about like the most fun you get out of it. So when I'm playing with Kitty and Zan, it's so much fun to do, like run around doing like the missions and doing strikes and stuff like that. And like that stuff is fun to do. And I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters. I usually get disinterested really fast. But this one kind of kept my interest to the point where like I even went in a couple times doing like my own solo character and playing it. But it like the most fun out of it is playing with a group. So that one got my number 5 pick.
Okay.
My number 4 pick is Dead by Daylight for another similar reason, where it's like most of the time where I'm playing that game is with a group. So like when it's with us, it's like, and that game is so fun to play because the whole like asymmetric game style is like it's a game style like I've been wanting them to do right for a while. Remember when Evolve came out, I was really interested in that like asymmetric game style, but it wasn't really done right.
It just didn't it didn't keep people's interest. Something about it just wasn't interesting. Like it didn't have the lasting effect. I don't know.
And for this one, I feel like they did it really well. Where like even like the whole horror aspect of it is really good. Where like usually when we're playing it, it's kind of like late at night anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like my lights off too, and like it just adds to like I guess like the environment adds to the ambiance of the game, and that kind of added more for me.
And when Zan's a good killer, it's like, up on you guys.
And then
Michael Myers.
We're gonna have to play this again and settle the score.
Yeah, it's like all that stuff like kind of plays into it when you have like us having like creepy killers or like the inside jokes we have, like my character the glitch. That, like all these like the little stuff that adds onto it,
creating lore to the stuff.
Like that stuff. Like all that stuff added to like how much fun I've had with that game.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me is The Surge, which I don't know if anyone has played. I think Zan played a little bit when he was over here before. Yeah. And that game for me, I put in a lot of time for it. It's pretty much a Dark Souls clone, but it felt like a lighter version of Dark Souls, which is good for me because I'm not very good at Dark Souls. So like it added like more playability for me. And the
environment is different.
The environment is completely different. It's more like tech, like future tech style rather than like the medieval style that Dark Souls has. And like the whole cutting off body parts and like that kind of stuff added something different to that same formula. But I've put in like a ton of hours into that game. I had a lot of fun with it. So that made it to my number 3. Number 2 was XCOM 2. Which is another game like that didn't come out this year, but I put in a lot of time into it and actually finished it.
DLC did.
Yeah. And so like that game I've always enjoyed. I'm not a big fan of like strategy games, but that's one game where I always enjoyed it in playing it, and it's super frustrating, but it adds to like the rewarding factor of it when you actually complete something. And I had to actually finish that game, and I know Zan knows I'm not a person that usually finishes games. I usually play them until the next game comes out. But this game actually sat down and finished. I had a lot of fun with it. And my number 1 pick was Fury, where we have like our full playthrough on it on our channel. But that's another game where like we went through and finished it all, and I had so much fun playing that game.
Yeah.
Like, I even went back and played some more after our recording was done. Because, like, it just... Like, that game was just so fun for me. Like, the whole, like, boss fight mechanics and, like, getting through it where you have to, like, time your parries, and there's some frustrating bosses in it. But it's like, you have to basically just learn the patterns of the boss, learn what you can do, how many hits you can get in, and, like, all that stuff. That was so fun for me. Like, the art style was amazing. The music was so good. Like, there was a lot of it that I liked. So, and the fact that I put so much time into it, it added even more for me. So that's going to be my number 1 game that I've played this year was Fury.
I'm surprised. Ass Creed did not make the list. No. Mention.
Wow.
Actually, I'm not surprised because it doesn't deserve it, but I'm surprised you didn't put it on there.
I was thinking about doing it out of spite.
Who doesn't know that's Assassin's Creed, properly pronounced.
No Assassin's Creed. Wow. All right. Well, that was Mez's top 5. Kitty,
All right.
let us know. What are your top 5 games?
Well,
or top whatever games for 2017.
Yeah, so I didn't play a lot of new games this year because I like play the same games a lot. Like I played Kingdom Hearts, but I've already played that before. It got re-released in
Yeah,
Skyrim and League of Legends. Like those don't count. So I only have a
yeah.
top three, and it's really close in theme to Mez's.
Okay.
So my number three is Overwatch because I only started playing that this summer. Um, it's just really fun. It's like League of Legends, but a first-person shooter. So like I don't like FPSs either, or very much. But like they all have, they're all different. Everybody knows this by now. They all have their own skill set, and it's like actually interesting to me, that way. And then like I like it too because I get to play it with friends and stuff. It's so nice. Um, and then my number two is Destiny because it's the same kind of thing. I don't really like shooters at all, but this is a lot more interesting. Like the three classes are pretty different, and Titan's still my favorite. And I had a lot of hours before it started to dying out or to die out. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people were playing it, and I got to play with a lot of different people. So I kind of play with you guys now, but before that, I had played with some of my other friends, and like it was great. It's great to play with other people. And then my number one pick is Gravity Rush 2, which I only got like a couple weeks ago on Christmas, but it has been so fun to play it. It gives me that same feeling that magical feeling that I got when I first played Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
So that's why I like it a lot. And it's just like so adorable, and like it's just the maps are huge, which I was not expecting.
I always heard a lot about that game too. It's like it always like kind of like piqued my interest. So
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see like if when you play it, like watching you play to see if I'm like, oh, okay, that's how it is or whatever.
Yeah. And then like it made me want to get the first one, so I bought the first one because it was on sale for
Oh, okay.
so I'll probably be playing that one. Maybe I'll stream it. I don't know. Well, when I get
Yeah.
There we
good
go.
internet.
Yeah. That's true too.
And that's it.
Right, Minister.
Oh, oh.
Let us know what your top 5 games
Well,
for 2017
sorry to
are.
disappoint you guys, but I don't play video games. All right, let's get serious. All right, my top five list. We're going to start off with number five, and I'll explain why. Overwatch is number five. I just started playing that game recently, but the one niche I have with it is that you need a good team to have fun. If you don't have a good team,
Yeah.
you're not going to be having fun. You're going to be cursing
Yeah.
at your teammates. My number four pick is Dead by Daylight. Now, this game is fun as hell. Before I even started playing with any of you, I was playing with random
Yeah.
people, and I think I played like 4 hours straight and didn't realize it. I was like, oh, I need to get some sleep.
Wow.
So the only problem I have with the game, it's just online. That's it.
Mm.
If it
Yeah.
was some kind of offline content, it would have been higher up the list. My number three is Vertical Horizon, believe it or not. Now, this game has great visual graphics. It has a fantastic story and good game mechanics. The only issue I have with it is it's single player only, and it kind of plateaus once you get to a certain level. Once you get really strong in whatever you kind of leveled up to make your own character, whether you want to shoot bows or get in close or just command other machines to fight for you. After a certain point, you start feeling like a god in the game, and even the most challenging bosses is not really that much of a challenge anymore. But that's very late in the game. My number two is Injustice, despite me not liking the Mortal Kombat mechanic.
Injustice 2.
Injustice 2. This thing is loaded with online and offline content. That's all I can say about that. You don't have to play against somebody online one time to have fun with this game. It has so much content in it. And number one, you guys probably already guessed. Dark Souls
DS3
3 is still going strong. I've made a new character 2 weeks ago. Started from level 1, and I'm still getting invaded. So people are still playing the game, still starting characters over. It's got offline, online content. Do whatever you want. You want to hit from a distance, just shoot a bow and arrow. Make a character that just shoots a bow and arrow and level up no other skill. Just be a coward and hit from a distance. We got them in the game. Or you want to go in close with a big oversized weapon? You can do it. You have full customization of your character. And the invasions make the game impossible to get boring. Because you're like, oh yeah, I know how to beat this boss. Before you get there, oh, these nuts has invaded. Oh shit. I either hide or try to get a friend to come help me out, because usually invaders are strong as shit. So that's my number one pick. Dark Souls 3. No one's surprised at that. I'm going to play that game until they come out with Dark Souls 95.
All right. And Zan, what are your top 5 games for 2017? Thank you, Zan. So honestly, like, I could probably make a whole list of honorable mentions, because I think I've played a lot more games than you guys have.
Yeah.
Like, judging by like your picks, I'm like, man, I could make an honorable mentions list of all this stuff. Yeah. But I'm not gonna name any honorable mentions, because like I said, there's just too many. So I'm gonna go right into my top 5. At number 5, I have Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. For this series to, like, I think come back from like the last previous games that it's had, and it's been pretty shitty. I think, like, I mean, 5 was kind of mediocre, I guess. It was right there, but 6 was terrible. Yeah. So the fact that he came back with this like a new kind of like genre, like the way they tackling the thing is like completely different from the other series. It's less action based. It went back to more survival horror, and it did it well. And I actually enjoyed the game. Like, I went through the whole game, and there was parts that were definitely scary. So it felt like it was kind of like going back to what Resident Evil is. So I liked it, and I enjoyed it. So that was my number 5 pick. Number 4 had to be on this list. The Lord and Savior Overwatch.
Wow.
It's going to be number 4.
I'm surprised it's not high on the list.
I mean, I love playing Overwatch, but there are times where like I kind of fall off of it if I'm playing another game, and like I do come back to it. It's kind of like that safety net. Yeah. And it is a game that I got into like really like late into it. I mean, I'm catching up now. I know from Ez, he's been on it like since it first started, so I kind of got on like a little bit later on. And like I said, I love playing the game. I love playing with friends. You know, alone is like really frustrating, like the minister mentioned. But it's, you know, you can still get through it. But like, yeah, there are times in the year where I'm just like, okay, you know, I'll take a break from Overwatch and play something else.
But those events always drag you back in.
The events always, yeah. You gotta get them skins, man. Gotta get them skins.
True.
At number 3, Super Mario Odyssey.
On the Switch.
This is like just a really fun game. I mean, this is just like this so purely fun. That's all I can say about it. It's just like it takes you back to like playing good Mario games and stuff like that. It kind of reinvents itself in a little bit, not too crazy. It adds like little things to a little mechanics that is that adds depth to the Mario formula, which I think helps it out. But overall, I just playing this game. You just have a good time playing it. Like my wife, she's not a big gamer, but like except for Overwatch, but she'll sit there and she like love watching me play Super Mario Odyssey and stuff too. Like she doesn't even want to like jump on the stick. She just enjoys watching it and stuff like that because it's just so much fun. So I would put that one on number 3. Number 2 is on there for the complete opposite reason. Cuphead. This was one that infuriated the hell out of me playing it. But like it was kind of those things that you enjoy like doing it. It's like it's a throwback to that old school kind of game where it's like increasingly hard. It gets increasingly hard and it doesn't make any it doesn't bend in any way. It doesn't like, okay, yeah, we're gonna make it easier for you to try to get past this level or anything like that. It's like, no, you have to get good at it. Like that's the only thing you can do. Get good. Like, and it just gets worse and worse and worse as you go along, and you have to get better. You have to learn the patterns. You have to like time the jumps. You have to do all this stuff. And like after you defeat it, you get this really like sense of accomplishment. Like, yes, I'm there. I beat this fucking game finally. You know. But overall, I think I had a good time with it. It doesn't like, you know, make it impossible to defeat. It just makes it really, really, really hard, and it kind of like puts it on you to get better at it. So number 2, I put Cuphead, and at number 1. Persona 5. I mean, if you've seen like
Yeah.
the picks video that we did for the Game Awards, this shouldn't be a surprise. Persona 5 is a game that I put like over 200 hours in. It's so fun, so stylistic. The music is awesome. The story is cool. The game just screams of like being super freaking cool, and I enjoyed everything I had with it. I'm not really that big into RPGs anymore because like they're such a time suck that I don't have that much time to put into it. But this one was so well done that I was willing to like forego my time like and play it. Like a big reason why I wasn't like in Overwatch for the beginning of this year was because I was playing Persona 5. And it's one that I could probably go back into now and play it and still have a good time. There's just so much things you can do with it. Like you have it's like you're living the life of a student for like 1 year. So you hang out with the kids. You have to like manage your time, like who you want to spend time with. What do you want to do? Do you want to work out? Do you want to play baseball? Do you want to fish? Do you want to actually go train, like, to fight or something like that? Like all this stuff where you can be like, okay, what do I need to do to get better in order to like defeat this boss or go through this dungeon and stuff like that. It's just a well done game. And for the fact that this was like the first game I've played in this series, I've never touched any other Persona games or whatever. And that I was able to get into this game and put this much time into it, I think speaks a lot to that game. So I put it at my number 1 for 2017.
I understand that. I played Persona 1, and I can tell you that thing is definitely one of a kind for a role-playing game.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get into the Persona series because it's like an offshoot of the Shin Megami Tensei series. I don't know if you played that one either, but a lot of people talk good, speak highly of that series and stuff. And this is kind of like a cut off of that one or whatever. And
what happened was
people
Dark
love it.
Souls started being made.
Dark Souls.
It's another one. Like I think none of our number ones overlapped again.
No.
Yeah, we all have different number ones. A lot of us have different games on there in general.
Yeah. I'll say this too. Like a lot of the games too. Like I've watched a lot of games, but like as games I've played, that was my list because like I've watched Cuphead, but I haven't had a chance to get like play the extra game. So like that's the reason why that didn't make it on my list. I'm sure it would.
Resident Evil for me.
Yeah, that one too. Like I never played it, but I watched it.
I'm surprised. Yeah, you're a big Resident Evil fan, Kitty.
Yeah,
too.
I like watching people play it. And then critique them. Just kidding.
I only like the part 4 with Leon because he jumps to the window like a say evasive action when he does it. So all the rest of it now.
RE4, this one was good though. RE7 was good, I think. And like, cause I was listening to you guys and I was like, man, yeah, I played like Destiny 2. I played Dead by Daylight. I mean, I played Yakuza 0. I played, what was another one that you guys mentioned? I was
Dark Souls.
Shit, I played that one too. Dark Souls. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, there's a ton of games that I've played. I'm like, yeah, if I was gonna make honorable mentions, that'd be like a whole list of itself.
Yeah.
XCOM too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't play a lot of new games.
But yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, you were moving around a lot too, so
it was
like
a busy year
to actually get down. Yeah. But there's always 2018. Let's see who make the cut for next year.
I'll say like too, like of like all the number ones, I think the only ones I've played is mine and Ministers, like Fury and Dark Souls. 'Cause I haven't played Persona and I haven't played Gravity Rush yet.
It's really fun.
Technically, I never played Fury and I never played Gravity Rush either. So, the only one for me would be Dark Souls and Persona. So I've only got 2.
Yeah, you just watched all the Fury.
I just watched
commentary
all the Fury,
and commentated the whole thing.
Like, technically, I didn't play it, yeah. But all right, well, that's gonna do it for us here at the Ichiban Nonsense Podcast. Those were our top 5 picks. If you're listening to this video and you have comments, because I'm sure you do, and opinions about what your picks were, leave them in the comments below.
Well, I want to add one more thing, like because we're
What's up?
talking about like games and stuff, and games and movies. So, like for this year coming up, what's a game or a movie you guys are anticipating?
Oh.
Infinity War.
Oh.
Infinity War for movie.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
For game.
Infinity War.
Oh yeah, Black Panther should be good.
Yeah, that one's coming out soon. I think it's next month.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of money is put into it.
For games,
Monster.
It's probably old, but like the
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. That's coming out
All I
soon.
can think of. I'm not thinking of anything else. Just Monster Hunter.
Shadow of the Colossus, the remake. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one to come out.
I don't really know because I don't really track things until they're out, and then I'm like, whoa.
There's like what Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2020 when that comes out.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Please don't taunt me with that. We'll see when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, I was gonna say like, it's Monster Hunter and Infinity War as well. Because Monster Hunter, like going through the beta we played, I went back again because they did the second kind of they had it for a second time. I went back and played it again. Like even single player, I just did just to test out weapons, and it's so much fun to do once.
Yeah,
it's like the controls were a bit took some time to get used to.
Yeah,
but once you do it and like you figure out how to like chain stuff and do everything, it's a lot of fun to do.
It is. Yeah, we had a good time playing it. Yeah, for sure. You know what else too? Red Dead Redemption 2, if that comes out this year.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm anticipating.
Yeah.
But okay,
there's
cool.
probably games we're not thinking of right now.
Yeah, I'm like, you got me thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure there are games. That's how I just like thought of Red Dead
But
Redemption
yeah,
2.
off the top of my head, yeah, it's probably Monster Hunter, Infinity War, Black Panther, like Minister said.
You know, I'm seeing maybe Ready Player One as a movie. I never read the book, so I'm actually interested to see how they
looks
like
really good.
How the movie plays out. Yeah,
looks really good.
So yeah, well, I'm gonna see like that one, how that one plays out.
There's a ton of like nerd culture references in there.
Yeah, Tracer's in there. I didn't even
realize
that.
Like every character from a video game you could think of, you're gonna see one.
Yeah,
at least one.
But okay, anybody got anything else then before we sign off here?
No, I think that's
okay.
it.
All right, cool. Well then, I've been BitW Zan, joined by my buddies here, Secret Kittty, Mazanti's on the East Coast, and Minister E. Not saying goodbye forever, just saying goodbye for now. Later.